Hey guys, Chad here with Midlife Classic Cars. This past weekend, I raced my first RC race since I was a little kid. When I was a kid, the thing that got me into cars was actually my parents bought me a RC10 Gold Pan. My father was friends with a guy that owned a hobby shop, and I was probably right at junior high, starting junior high age. This was my first thing that I got to build on my own and tinker with. And this is, I think, what really got me into cars was also RC racing. I would work on the cars and tinker with them. And I think that was like my favorite part more than racing them. And my dad would and my mom would take me out to tracks and I'd race tracks. So this being the Mother's Day weekend, we decided to replicate what I did as a kid. And I took my Traxxas Slash 4x4 and raced in the novice group to have fun. First of all, I got to give a big shout out to the people that run Zoo City Raceway. It's in Asheboro, North Carolina. I'll put a link below. Do a great job of maintaining the facility. Another shout out I want to give is Anderson Hobby in Thomasville. They're my local hobby shop. We don't have that many hobby shops around anymore, so I want to make sure to give them a big shout out and check them out if you're ever in the North Carolina area, kind of near between Winston and Greensboro, I think it is. Thomasville. You have to look it up on a map. Anderson Hobby though. But yeah, so we went out there, and you're going to see in this video pretty much me setting up a pit stall for myself, me working on the car, me going to the track racing it, my parents showing up and rooting me on and everything, me barely being able to keep it on the track. I'm learning a lot of lessons. The reason I'm doing this, there's a big reason why I'm getting back into RC car racing. I do enjoy it. I am thinking about moving up and getting a nicer RC car and maybe getting a team associated like same company I used to race when I was a kid. But the truth of the matter is I want to start a real race team. I'm looking at doing the Champ Car Racing Endurance Series, and I'm actually working on my business model and marketing for that now. But I'm using this now because it's the same thing. I mean, they're both toys. The race car is a toy. The RC car is a toy. But like tuning, coming in after a race, making all the setting changes, making adjustments, setting up pits. It's a micro version of the big thing I want to end up doing. And that's why I'm getting back into RC racing, is to prepare me to hopefully to launch a race team pretty soon. Like I said, I'm looking at endurance racing, but there's also some circle track racing, short track that I'm looking at too. And I'm hopefully be announcing that pretty soon here. So that, and just to have some fun, spend some time with my family, and it was a great weekend. So I'm going to just start rolling the video and show you what it's like, what I've been through, and tell you more about it. One more thing, don't forget you can find hoodies and t-shirts for Midlife Classic Cars on our website. You can find all of our books. We've got about 4,000 different books. I'll flash up a few books during the video. And please like and subscribe on all the social medias and YouTube here. And check out our website, Midlife Classic Cars. Let's get into it. So this is my RC10 Gold Pan. This is the car that my parents gave me when I was a kid. I love this thing. I unfortunately had it stolen when the building was broken into, but at least I have my original box still. But that's what I raced as a kid. And this is me here starting to get the car ready for the weekend. I wanted to give a shout out also to Proline and RPM. I've got Proline wheels, Proline shocks, Proline tires, and I've bought some aftermarket parts from RPM and some of their tuning stuff that you can see on the table there. They've got a Camber tuner. So this is just pretty much me getting ready for the weekend. I had to make some adjustments. I changed all the gear oil and was just doing more suspension setup compared to kind of the bash setup that I had it for. And it took me a long time because it was pretty dirty, and I had a lot of clay just smashed in all the crevices. So it took me a while, but this is the part I love. This is the part I love tinkering. There goes Veronica running around background, getting your orders out. But yeah, this is probably my favorite part. That's a sheet I found online of a guy that's raced a Slash, and it was all his settings. So I used that as a baseline. I stuck with most of it during the race, but I did definitely start deviating from it and using some of my own settings. But yeah, this is just what it is, getting it ready for the weekend. So here I'm getting ready to assemble the Proline tires. I have not done this in a long time. Tire setups were different than when I raced as a kid than they are now. You didn't have to glue the tire to the wheel. So that was just different, just something I wasn't used to. I didn't have any of the fancy tire holders I see a lot of the guys using to squeeze them together, but I made do. It was neat. These Proline rims were nice because they work with multiple cars. And what I'm actually doing is attaching the hub that connects to the Slash. The one thing I would say about them, I kind of wish they were just flat face instead of the grooves. I did notice that after every session I had to punch some red clay out of the wheels, so they would rotate correctly, more balanced, or balance correctly. Words, you know how words are. So that would have been nice. Also saw people cutting holes in theirs. I'm not sure what that's about. I need to go watch some more YouTube videos. But yeah, this is me gluing it. I went on, like a lot of people, went online and just looked at how the pros do it, and I just went over it. Oh, look, I realized to put on a glove when you're using glue. It only took me half a wheel to figure that out. But yeah, pretty cool. I did enjoy this part. It was a lot of fun. So in my warehouse, I decided to set up a little pit area just to practice, see what all I needed. I knew they didn't have power, so I want to make sure I had generator and all the power cords to do it. And at this time, I wasn't sure if the race was going to be during the day or night, so I was just getting lights out just to see how that would all work. And I just kind of loosely put it up there, put some LEDs for the vibe, you know, just trying to look cool. But the other lights worked great. I actually turned off the lights in the building and tested it in there just to see what it was like. And this is one of the things I was talking about. I'm trying to get ready to run a real race team. And these are just little things, figuring out doing it on this scale to take it to a bigger scale. But yeah, that was my setup. Here we have a little flyover of Zoo City. This is not too far away from the Asheboro Zoo, hence the name Zoo City. I think they one more race this Thursday before they destroy this track and have a brand new layout. But yeah, really, really cool. Really appreciate this guy I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but really appreciate what he does to keep this track going and everything. A little bit of water tower there. That's what's nice. They watered it down in the morning, blew all the dust out between sessions and stuff and everything. A nice little shot of the track. And here are my beautiful parents showing up to support me. There's Cliff in the old Midlife Classic Cars shirt. If you've ever been to one of the car shows before, you probably know both my parents, Cliff and Debbie. Shout out to my mom for Happy Mother's Day. I really appreciate her coming out to root me on. But this really was just like when I was a kid. And they would take me RC racing. I loved it. I had a great time with my parents that day. So basically, this is just me practice, or this might have been for a qualifying session. A lot of these things I cut out me flipping the car just to make myself look a lot better, but I think I only made a few laps ever without tumbling the car. But this is why I run the novice section and trying to get better so I can run with the big boys one day. Here I come. Look at this sweeping turn. Oh, wow, I did so good. Oh, too much oversteer. It's crazy there. So I was having fun playing with angles, trying to get cool shots of the cars going by. One thing I just cannot get over with the new cars is just, the batteries. I mean, when I was a kid in race, you were trying to conserve the batteries. You couldn't even take a test lap before a race started because you were worried about, all right, there's me doing a front flip like a champ. But that's the craziest part to me compared to what it used to be, is the batteries.
Here comes Ben. Jennifer right now.
That lady there, she was awesome. She had a Goldie Labrador or Lab, and that was super sweet. And she was always flipping cars for everybody. Really appreciate her. She definitely had to flip my car over a bunch of times for me. And I'm gonna wear it on my head.
Yeah, you let it run for now.
And so this is after, I think, one of my heats.
You got this corner?
And now I'm going out
Alright,
to
I'm gonna
marshal
grab that
myself.
green
That was one of the gentlemen I raced against in the novice class. He also ran a Slash 2-wheel drive. One thing I learned, he's running, I think, the 2 lipos versus the 4-cell lipos that I'm running. And I think it's making him a lot easier to control his car versus mine. You can definitely tell that these guys are a level up from us. And I'm just shooting this with a GoPro on my hat and everything.
I got.
Oh, I should have flipped it better. Screwed that guy over. Should have given him a better flip. And this is my group, all of us novice coming off after marshaling. So here's the setup I did in the warehouse. I brought a tarp to keep the sun off the back of us there. But after every single time I went onto the track, I came out, checked my camber, made adjustments, did what I think I could do to keep the car going straight. I think that was my biggest challenge. I mentioned before, I really think my lipos are too strong for what I'm trying to do, so hopefully that will help when the new ones come in. And I've noticed really making sure my camber and toe is correct has really made a huge difference.
1 minute in.
Some of the pits in the cars, some of the people's trailers were just insane, and their pit setups were just insane. There's the Midlife Classic Cars t-shirt that you can currently buy. 1 foot on the grave, 1 foot on the throttle. Oh no, yeah, 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot on the throttle is our slogan there.
Hey, meet me over
Once
at
again, my
pit.
awesome parents coming out to
So
support me.
The battery tray came undone.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Really appreciate you spending Mother's Day at the track with me. And there's my father. 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot on the throttle. Here's my championship level of racing, flipping over on my lid. Thank you for the marshals again for flipping me over for the 1000th time. These whoops were a nemesis of mine for the weekend. That one I got through pretty clear, which is why we used the video. There's me up in the stands with the novice group. It was a nice little group of people. Everybody was fun. No one took it seriously. I didn't have a transponder, so I couldn't win the race, but because my laps weren't counted. But it was just such a good time. I'm gonna just let some of these Nitrous cars run and let you listen to them. They just sound so cool.
Get you back underway.
I think it's sometimes just as fun to be a marshal. It's scary as crap because after this jump here, I've seen it almost hit that guy there, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's not, but if he got hit, I'd be like, oh no, are you okay? Slash, that was awesome. But yeah, we're having a great time out here. Zoo City, Asheboro.
Get back underway.
So I want to give a shout out one more time to Zoo City Raceway, Anderson Hobby, myself, of course, Midlife Classic Cars. Don't forget you can check out our books. You can check out our t-shirts and hoodies. and order books. We ship them all in boxes. We never ship in envelopes. Also, remember, guys, just to subscribe to our channel, and I appreciate you watching. Oh, one final thing. I didn't actually get to finish my race. It was a 10-minute race, and unfortunately, I blew my axle with like a minute to go. But at the same time, I didn't have a transponder, so I really wouldn't count my laps. I really couldn't win. I was out there for the fun of it, and that's what I did. I had a ton of fun. I definitely will be back racing the Novice Series. Hope everybody has a good one.